business or in relationships, etc.
In a sense, this is a way of seeing into the future, is that correct?
Well, to some degree, because there is no the future, and that's the way it is. The future is made up of the strongest momentum or ideas that are most likely to manifest should that energy not change.
So at least we would get a probable outcome, let's say.
Right. It's a way to look and read those energies to see what the energy momentum is.
And the basis of it, as I understand it, and I know nothing about astrology, is that it's based on the stars and the planets and the movements. Is that an accurate impression?
Yes, it's based on the location of the planets and the stars within our solar system relative to our Earth at the time of your birth, which astrologers time as your first breath.
Okay, your first breath. So based on that exact moment in time, that seems to set a pattern, doesn't it, for your entire life. Is that accurate?
Well, to some degree, it's not. It doesn't really set anything. The planets don't impel or compel or energize or force you to do anything. They simply act as a mirror, as a reflection. It's more of a synchronistic event. The solar system and the positions of the planets are reflecting a similar vibration of what your vibration is when you're born. In other words, it's more of one thing being split into two.
Ooh, okay.
I know that's confusing.
All right, let me absorb that 1 second. I think one of the basic issues I want to ask you about, Ed, is the planets are in a certain position when I take my first breath, for example. Okay. What is it that astrologers feel is so important about the planets in terms of what will happen to me in my life?
Well, as I said, if it acts as a mirror, for example, you use a mirror to comb your hair. It gives you an accurate reflection of what you look like, but it doesn't control what you look like.
No, it doesn't. But the question I have is, in the mirror, what it happens is it takes light rays that are directly coming from you, and it shows you them reflected on another surface. Right. How do the planets relate to who I am? That's what a planet is, just a piece of rock out in space.
Well, I was getting
Why
to that.
should I feel that somehow will tell me something about myself as a human being?
Well, over history, for thousands and thousands of years, as they've studied certain planetary positions, geometric configurations, they've come to realize that persons born with Jupiter in this certain place or Mercury in a certain geometric configuration with the moon represents or reflects in that mirror some certain psychological tendencies or attitudes that seem to synchronistically develop within the individual.
So there's a sense that the planets really do have there's a pattern there, isn't there? And they feel that if you were born on a certain date at time, then there will be likely certain kinds of things that happen in your life.
Well, yes, because the planetary movements from that point forward are cyclic, and we can measure certain points where there will be tense developmental aspects between the planets affecting the individual's planets, and these all relate to or reflect what things the individual is going through at those times.
I got you. You've written a book.
Yes, I have.
Tell us a little about the book. What's it called?
It's called The Chalice of Arcturus, and it's basically a guide to self-empowerment using astrology. If anyone doesn't know what self-empowerment is, to define it, it's simply knowing that you're as powerful as you need to be to create whatever you desire to create within your life without having to hurt yourself or anybody else in order to create it.
The book is not yet out. Is it available in the bookstore?
No, it's under consideration for publication right now.
And the main thrust of your book, your main argument is what?
Well, the argument is that, as I said in the beginning, that if the horoscope acts as a mirror and reflects certain energies, most astrologers look at this and interpret the aspects and the planetary positions, etc., in psychological terms, so that they understand an individual when they come in, and hopefully they allow the individual to understand themselves more and therefore have more control over their lives. Some astrologers may go off on a direction of believing that the planets influence you, and I disagree with this because I believe that this is disempowering. That, we say, well, this is happening in my life because Saturn's here. Well, that really doesn't give the individual any information on to how they can change their life or how they can grow with whatever is there.
You've been practicing astrology for some time. Briefly, what kind of people will call on you for your services?
Well, there is no one kind. UCSD physicists have come to me. I've had deaf people, which it was difficult for me because I don't, know deaf.
No sign language.
No sign language or anything, but I've gotten through it. Just a diverse walks of life. There's anybody. I couldn't say there was a generally certain type of person that comes to me.
And they come to you regularly to ask you about
Well, some do. I don't encourage it because I believe that this is disempowering as well. There's certain general ideas that I try to help the individual with, understanding how they created certain things in their lives, etc. And from that point on, we just try to incorporate those principles and perhaps give them more control over their life, or to understand, for example, if they have a sabotage complex, where you'll start getting successful and then you mess it up for yourself. Well, what we try to do is understand that psychologically and why the person is creating it so that they can redefine themselves and recreate what they prefer.
Okay, stay with us. There's more to come here on Paragon. If you've just joined us, you're watching the first in a three-part series on astrology. We're talking about the basics. What is astrology? How can it affect your life? How could it change your life? Our guest for this segment has been Ed Wollmann, who is an astrologer here in San Diego, and we'll continue with Ed and another guest coming right up. So don't go away. Leave the dial set right here. I'm Mike West. Stay tuned.